Marie-Andre Canuel earned all New England honors and America East first team all-conference accolades 3 times during her soccer career. Canuel, also a 3-time America East all-tournament team selection, was named the Conference Rookie of the Year in 2004. It was named the league's Midfielder of the Year in 2005. Arel Gordon was named an AP All-American as a football return specialist, set a school record with 3 punt return touchdowns during his career, and tied the school record for longest kickoff return, 100 yards. His 729 kick return yards in 2004 were tops in Maine history, while he also tied the all-time school mark with 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns in a season in 2004. Gordon was named All-Conference at 3 positions: first team as a return specialist, second team as a running back, and third team as a wide receiver. In track and field, he posted the top 55-meter dash mark in the America East with a facility record-breaking 6.19 timing. Gordon earned All-American status when he placed 7th in the 60-meter dash with a school record time of 6.71 at the 2007 NCAA Championships. He also holds the school record in the 200 meters at 21.19 seconds.
Aurel Gordon. Our next inductee comes from track and field, Allison Howitt Keating. We have a video about Allison's great career at Maine.
Allison Howitt held 8 school records at the time of her graduation and currently appears 15 times on Maine's top 10 lists for competing in both individual sprint events and on some of Maine's all-time great relay teams. In 2008, Howitt was named the Outstanding Track Performer in the America East Outdoor Championships after winning the 100 and 200 meter dashes while serving on Maine's 4x400 meter relay team. That summer, she competed at the Canadian Olympic Trials.
Ladies and gentlemen, Allison Howitt Keating.
Thank you to the M Club for this honor and for hosting us this evening. It's been wonderful to reconnect with the UMaine community in preparation for tonight. Thank you for all that you do to support UMaine athletics. I have to admit I was a little surprised to receive Coach Ward's call informing me that I would be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I've had several teammates inducted, all of whom continued their athletic careers, whether professionally or within other endeavors when they left Maine. While my career ended when I left Orono, his call affirmed something that I've always known, that my time on the track and field team from 2006 to 2010 was a part of something special, and I'm grateful to have played a small role in that success. None of my achievements would have been possible without my incredible support system, my family, my teammates, and my coaches. My parents are all here tonight, still showing up to athletic events for their children after 20 plus years. They sacrificed time, money, and effort to travel to countless meets, all for what would often amount to less than 5 minutes of actual competition on a good day. I am forever grateful for their love and support. A special thank you to my brother Will, who endured many of those meets as a spectator. Thank you for always being there. I'd like to thank my husband Connor, who I met my senior year at Maine, for 14 years of love and support. He helped me to see that there's life beyond athletics with many adventures still to come. It's also special to share this honor with my father-in-law, Chris Keating, who was inducted into this Hall of Fame in 1991. When I arrived at Maine, I had little idea of what I was getting into. I had a solid freshman year, but it was when Dave Casano was hired as our assistant coach the summer before my sophomore year that things really changed. His guidance helped me grow as both an athlete and a person. My sophomore year was my strongest athletically, and I learned the value of having a strong training group and supportive teammates. Our sprint group created a winning culture, and we fed off of each other's successes, and I believe that that spirit impacted the track and field program overall. Those teammates included, and bear with me, Lindsay Burlock, Vicki Tolton, Vanessa Holman, Laterno, Matt Holman, Skip Edwards, Jeremy Wood, Jillian O'Brien, Shaniqua Burgess, Jessie Lebrecq, and many more. As I progressed through my junior and senior years, we added more talented athletes to the team, many of whom you'll see on top 10 performance lists today. It was rewarding to leave feeling like the sprint group was stronger than when I had arrived. The lessons I learned as a student athlete have been invaluable in my professional and adult life. Time management, a strong work ethic, teamwork, and adapting to new environments have all been crucial skills. Coaching high school track and field has also given me a newfound appreciation for the coaches and officials who guided me throughout my career. I'm thrilled to see the strides UMaine has made to support future student athletes. The new indoor track facility is phenomenal, and the athletics facility's master plan is truly exciting. It's inspiring to see strong performances coming out of the track and field program, like that of Mackenzie Wilson at the NCAA championships this past spring. As the world watches women's sports more closely, it's heartening to see UMaine continue to elevate female athletes. Finally, the past 5 years have centered around raising our 2 daughters, Annie and Nora. Connor is the true athlete of the family these days, logging hundreds of miles, a habit Annie has affectionately called fast feet. She was walking through the YMCA one day with her grandmother when she saw a woman running on the treadmill, and she exclaimed, "Mamas do fast feet too?" So while they're a little too young to be in attendance this evening, it's been meaningful to bring them here this weekend to show them that, yes, in fact, mamas do fast feet too. Thank you all for listening, and again to the M Club for this incredible honor.
Congratulations, Allison. Thank you. Next up, we're going to soccer, and our next inductee is Paul Kelly.
Paul Kelly is the only player in the defunct men's soccer program history to be named a first-team All-North Atlantic honoree 3 times in a career. A 2-time regional All-American selection, Kelly earned a nod to the 1994 America East All-Tournament team. Following his time at Maine, Kelly played semi-pro soccer with 4 different organizations, serving as captain of the Western Mass Pioneers and enjoying 4 seasons in the USL Pro League. He competed in the 1995 U.S. Olympic Festival, was named a first-team USL Pro All-Star in 1999, and was invited to the 2000 Major League Soccer Combine.
Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Kelly.
Thank you. I'm not going to surprise Coach Dyer, Coach Atherley by not having a prepared speech or wearing a tie tonight. So sorry in advance for that. But thank you to the M Club for this great honor. It's an absolute privilege to be in front of all of you and with the other inductees to have the chance to meet you, and especially thank you to the hockey team for letting me be included in all of the accolades that the athletic director talked about before. My daughters asked me, like, which one were you? I'm like, the national championship, that was us. Don't worry. So, yeah, but thinking about my time at Maine, I think back to, the very first time I was on campus, my parents dropped me off, and, I thought throughout the recruiting process, Coach Dyer made you feel like, you were the center of the universe and you were going to come here and conquer the world. I remember the first time we sat down and they handed me a list of the 6 other guys that were in my recruiting class who were all high school All-Americans, played for the Canadian national team. And my biggest high school accolade was I was the football kicker and won the javelin. So I thought, man, what a liar. So it goes along with the recruiting trick of flying me up here from Hartford, Connecticut, thinking that I was only a half an hour to Bangor, but that was the only time I ever flew to Maine. So a few drives, but thinking back, it was really unique that I had the ability with that recruiting class. We had 7 of us in the class. I think almost all 7 of us started our freshman year, and continued that through all 4 years. And I think that something that exemplifies the men's soccer program at that time was we all came here with Coach Dyer as the head coach. And, everyone fell in love with him. My mom, he used to come over and he would make dinner, and everyone loved Coach Dyer. He would drive me to soccer games and go to my high school football games as well. And Coach Atherley was there. But after my freshman year, Coach Dyer stepped down to be the assistant athletic director and the assistant soccer coach, and Coach Atherley became our head coach. And I think something that really exemplifies the program was not a single person in our class left University of Maine in all 4 years. We got better every single year. under Coach Atherley's guidance, with Coach Dyer kind of hovering around there, taking notes and silently, nodding his approval or disapproval at times. If you wore your hat inside the field house, that was some extra laps. I made sure I took it off today, Coach, and we walked in there with my daughter, so you'll be proud of that. But I really think that, we think back, and we were talking with Coach Atherley and Coach Dyer this afternoon, and sitting down at the table, and we don't really sit and talk about soccer. We didn't talk about, remember that game, remember this game. It was nothing like that. It was, remember to take off your hat when you walk into the building. Remember to wear a tie at important events. Sorry again for that. Eat the right food, stay healthy, be a good person. So those are the things that really I carried with me, that I learned at the University of Maine through Coach Atherley and Coach Dyer. The other thing I'd be remiss to not mention is, it's unfortunate. I think we can get rid of the word defunct for the men's soccer program. It's a little bit harsh, I'd say, but it's just temporarily on pause, as the way we like to think of it. But I don't think the program is defunct. I'm still in touch with all those 7 guys that were in my recruiting class. The guys that came before me. I was with Gary Crompton 2 weeks ago, who graduated the year before I came in. I talk to guys. We go skiing together. We get together. There was a big get together last year in Connecticut. So I can assure you, the men's soccer program at Maine is still alive and well. We just don't have a team at the moment. So and I'd love to congratulate the women's program for not only carrying the torch, but doing much more than certainly we have ever done as a program. So well done to you. So. And lastly, the people sitting at the table with me, my sister, who drove more times up and down 95 with my parents, crying that she had to go to another soccer game in Orono from Massachusetts. Thank you for being here. My older brother Ryan, who after graduating from Bates College became their assistant coach my junior year. I think that was part of a deal to help me get out to class on time or more frequently, but thank you for that. And that, it wasn't not a coincidence that happened to be probably the best year that I had playing here was when my older brother was here. My brother Patrick, who came to Maine, who unfortunately can't be here tonight, spent 4 years and graduated and was the captain of the men's soccer team as well. So it really became a family thing for us here in Orono. My mom and dad, who I don't think I've ever played a soccer game in my entire life that they weren't on the sidelines for. They would drive up in the morning, watch a game, and drive back home, and do it again 3 days later. I'm like, well, how did you guys get here? We're in Cleveland. And they're like, we just headed here from Orono. I'm like, well, so the two greatest people I've ever known, and thank you for everything you've done for me. And then thank you for this honor, because it gave me the chance for the first time to be on campus with my 2 daughters. Caitlin and Bridget, who are sitting there, and we came up here late last night, and we got to the chance to walk around campus with them and say, "Hey, I used to live here. This is our old dining hall. Like, that was the house I lived in. It used to be bright blue. It's white now. We called it the Blueberry House, and I can't believe it's still standing. But so that was probably one of the greatest days I've had on campus was today, and being able to share it with my family and especially my daughter. So. Thank you again. Congratulations to all the other inductees. This is certainly a very humbling honor, and have a great night and go blue. Thanks.
Paul Kelly, thank you, Paul. Our next inductee played women's basketball at the University of Maine. And we have a video about her career. Let's play that for Siggy Hoitzer.
Siggy Koitzer earned a trio of selections to the America East All-Conference team and a pair of America East All-Tournament team honors during her illustrious career. Koitzer, who guided Maine to back-to-back 20-plus win seasons, 23 and 26, averaged 12.9 points per game for her career, leading Maine in scoring in 3 of her 4 seasons. At the time of her induction, Koitzer ranks 9th on Maine's all-time scoring list, 1,671, 8th in assists, 368, and 6th in three-pointers, 184. 10th in steals, 179, and 3rd in games played, 130.
Siggy Hoytzer. Unfortunately, Siggy could not be here tonight, so accepting the award on her behalf is head coach Amy Vachon. But Siggy did send us a recorded message, so let's take a listen to that.
Dear Maine community, thank you so much for being here today to celebrate this year's Hall of Fame inductees. I'm sorry I can't be there in person, this is why you have to listen to my video. But I'm right now in Vienna, Austria, and I'm waiting for my next contract and to start playing for a new team, which hopefully by the time of this recording I will already be practicing and playing with the team. I feel really honored to have chosen to be a part of the Hall of Fame and to have my name alongside that many great student athletes that have attended the University of Maine in the past. When I first saw the Hall of Fame, I was an exchange student in Millinocket, Maine, and my host parents took me down to a UMaine practice, and I got to play pickup with the girls. And before the practice started, I was showed around the campus a little bit, and I walked through the Hall of Fame, and I was reading the plaques, I was reading the names, I was reading the achievements, and the thought that my name might be up there one day didn't even cross my mind. And when I think back now to my time at the University of Maine, I remember the huge crowds cheering for us at the Cross Center. I remember the amazing support we got from the university, from the athletic department staff, of course from the coaches and the teammates. And what really sticks with me is the community support that we had. In my 8 years of playing professional basketball, I never had anything like this. So this is what's really special about UMaine, and now that I'm part of Hall of Fame, I really wanted to mention that without everybody who supported us, this all wouldn't have been possible. And for me, another big part of my success was my roommate and teammate Sheraton, because she always pushed me to be the best version of myself, and she always told me what I needed to hear. And it was the good and the bad that I didn't want to hear, but I needed to hear it anyway. And she was the one holding me accountable. And for tonight, I wish you all a lovely evening, and thank you again for being here today and for honoring me with this award. And also a huge congratulations to all my other co-inductees that are here today. And go Black Bears!
Our next inductee also played basketball at the University of Maine. Next up is Kevin Reed.
Kevin Reed is one of just 2 Black Bears with 3 America East All-Conference awards in program history. A 3-time America East All-Conference second-team honoree, he earned a spot on the league's All-Rookie team in 2003 when he led the league in three-point shooting as a freshman. Reed ranks 5th on Maine's all-time scoring list, 1,601 points, 8th in rebounding, 732, and 3rd in steals, 225. He led the league in steals in 2 of his 3 seasons.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Reed.
Good evening. First and foremost, I just want to say congratulations for all those being inducted tonight. I think I can speak on behalf of us all when I say that it's been not only an honor, but a privilege to represent the University of Maine as student athletes during our time here. I also want to extend my gratitude to Ann Maxim and the M Club, and for all those who were on the Hall of Fame committee for considering my body of work worthy of being honored here this evening. To be recognized as one of the best to ever put on a basketball uniform in the history of a school like the University of Maine is both surreal and truly humbling. So thank you so much. It's kind of funny. When I first came to the University of Maine on my official visit, I actually drove up with my father, and we made it to the Maine border from Massachusetts in about an hour and 15 minutes. And I remember thinking, like, okay, we're in Maine already? We can't be that far from the university. Little did I know that that trip had another 3 hours attached to it. And I saw more trees and roadkill than I could ever imagine I've ever seen. My father will remember this, but I remember saying, there's no way I'm coming up here. There's no way I'm coming up here. I said, this place has to be something really, really special if they think that I'm going to spend 4 years of my life all the way up here. Fast forward 23 years, and I'm so blessed to call Maine my home. And I'm so proud that the University of Maine is my alma mater. So when it came to tonight and thinking about what I wanted to say as far as being a Hall of Famer, I realized that this honor is not just the culmination of one person's achievements, one person's stats. This is a culmination of all the amazing people, all the amazing coaches, and all the amazing teammates that I've been fortunate enough to meet along the way. And I would be remiss if I stood up here this evening and didn't give honor to those who made this moment possible. So I'll start with the coaches. We live in an era where coaches' worth is often judged by their win-loss record. And I've always found it to be an unfair evaluation because every single coach in this room understands that you are so much more than a basketball coach. For some of you guys were parents, a parent away from home to a lot of your players. For some of you guys were mentors as you would guide these young adult lives during their time in college. I'm not going to look in any specific direction, but some of you guys also took on the role of probation officer, bounty hunter, and defense attorney to your players. Your role and responsibility extended far beyond the court itself. Now, I've had the privilege to play for a few Hall of Fame coaches, and they were Hall of Fame coaches not necessarily because the number of wins that they had over the course of their career, but these were Hall of Fame coaches because the number of good husbands, because of the number of good fathers, because of the number of productive members of society that they had a hand in molding. So I'd like to start off with a few coaches. My JV coach, William Walker, for all the rides back and forth to the gym, for giving us something constructive to do after school. I'm not here if it wasn't for you. Coach Larry Army, you took a group of ragamuffins from Worcester, Massachusetts. You brought us the world's cheapest uniforms and introduced me to an organization called AAU. I'm not here today if it wasn't for you. Vinny Pastore, you believed that I was a Division I basketball player even when nobody else did, including myself. I'm not here if it wasn't for you. Coach Al Labarani, Dennis Yarmouth Regional High School, you are more than a coach, you are more than a mentor, you're my brother, and our relationship is truly eternal. Coach Quinn and the whole staff at St. Thomas More, you taught me grit, you taught me about toughness, and you taught me how to compete. I'm not here if it wasn't for you. Coach Ed Jones, according to Ed, he was the one who recruited me to the University of Maine, allegedly. And if I don't mention him, there's a good chance he'll call me later and cuss me out. You guys who know Ed Jones, you're laughing because you know there's a good chance that he might call me later and cuss me out. Coach G, you brought me to the University of Maine. You took a chance on me. And I remember the excitement in your voice and the excitement in your face when I sat in your office on my official visit. It was creepy. It was creepy in a good way, though, right? In a good way, because I never saw someone so excited about the potential of having me on their team. I want to thank Coach G. Coach Woodward, Over the course of the years, I watched our relationship grow from player-coach to husband-husband to father, and now friend-to-friend. The last bucket I scored under your tutelage was in 2007. I don't do anything to benefit you to this day, and every single holiday, I get a text message from that man over there. The genuine concern that you have for your players long after the ball starts bouncing is admirable, and I thank you. I'm not here today if it's not for you. Coach Stan Spiro and his staff at the University of the Southern New Hampshire and the coaching staff from American International College, during the recruitment process, you told me that I was not good enough to play for your school. And I needed to hear that during that time in my life. Your doubt led me to work harder, and it took me from a player that wasn't good enough to play for your school to a player that was too good to play for your school. I'm not here today if it's not for you. I also want to thank the greatest coaching staff that a kid can ask for. Head coach Ken and Katie Reed are in the building tonight. And although they never gave me any pointers about basketball, thankfully, they coached me in the areas of life that are most important. You guys have faithfully trained me up in the way that I should go. And now that I'm grown, I will not depart from it. To my teammates, first and foremost to the team that I was born into, Timmy, Kendra, Keith, and Chris. Being the youngest of 5 kids, it brings a sense of determination out of you. You have to fight and scrap because you want to keep up with your older siblings. I'm not here if it's not for you guys. My good friend and lifetime teammate, John Zito, I appreciate you, brother. Eric Dobson, probably the most underrated point guard in the University of Maine men's basketball history, who does not get the recognition he deserves. I'm giving you your recognition tonight. I am not here if it wasn't for you, Eric Dobson. And the list goes on. Jason Height, Buddy Levitt, Junior Brunel, Mark Flavin, Chris Markwood, Freddie, Wally, Chris Bruff. The list can go on forever. If at any point we ever shared a locker room together, if at any point we ever brought it inside the huddle and broke down Black Bears on 3, I'm not here if it's not for you. A few people I want to shout out. Paula Linda. Paula Linda was our trainer during my time at the University of Maine. Paula was the soft-spoken Southern voice to contrast Coach Woodward's not so soft-spoken voice, let's put it that way. She was more than just a trainer, she was the team mom. Paula, I appreciate you and everything that you've done for me during my time at the University of Maine. Dr. Corbin, rest in peace. He always got me back on my feet, pun intended. Ann Maxim, Christina Kurlick, my academic advisors during my time at the University of Maine. I'll take this moment to apologize to you guys. I made you work for every dime the University of Maine paid you to be my academic advisor. I'm not here, literally, if it wasn't for you guys. To my in-laws, Ann and Steve Scobie, you guys have been there from day one, and you guys continue to be there. I'm not here if it wasn't for you. And to my wife, Hannah, you don't know this, but this is a good time for you to throw a glass of water in Coach Woodward's face. My freshman year, the whole staff was like, don't have a girlfriend. They're no good. They distract you. They turn great players into subpar players because they keep you from the gym. Coach, I agree with you on most things, but you couldn't have been more wrong in your life. Over 20 years later, she didn't distract me. She kept me focused. She didn't take me away from the gym. She was the one telling me to get in the gym. Your shot looks rusty. She's always been my biggest supporter, my biggest cheerleader. and I love you. To my kids, Jalen, Rajon, and Jordan, I want to just advise you guys to dream big. If people don't laugh at your dreams, they're not big enough. Have a dream that's laughable. Work hard. Don't be afraid to try. Don't be afraid to fail. And no matter what you do, make sure you keep God first. Go Black Bears. God bless and good night.
Thank you, Kevin Reed. Next up, our next inductee is from the Maine baseball program. Let's watch the video for Larry Thomas.
Larry Thomas earned All-American status in 1991 when he was 9-4 with a 2.54 earned run average, 108 strikeouts, and just 26 walks. In 91, the left-hander also earned North Atlantic Conference Pitcher of the Year honors, All-New England recognition, and a first-team All-Conference nod. His 108 strikeouts in 91 ranked second for strikeouts in a season in program history. Following his time at Maine, Thomas was drafted in the second round, 69th overall, by the Chicago White Sox and made his major league debut in 1995.
Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Thomas.
I feel like I'm pitching at Fenway right now. Hey, I just want to say what a great evening. M Club, thank you so much. What a great honor. Board of Directors, I know Coach Derber wasn't supposed to tell me firsthand. He gave me a text and said, congratulations, you're a Hall of Famer. And I got super emotional, but at the same time, I just knew it was the right fit, and I love my school so much. I also want to thank President, if I pronounce your name right, Freddie Mundy. Thank you so much. AD Kelly, I appreciate everything you do, and everybody knows that you're only as good as your administration, especially with athletics. And thank you for everything you do. Congratulations to the Hall of Famers, past and present. Also, congratulations to the 1999 hockey championship, national championships. I was with an ex-hockey player this past week in Winthrop. I'm sure everybody knows Mike Rizzioni. He wanted me to tell you all congratulations and great job. I'd like to thank my mom and dad. Without them, UMaine probably never would have happened. All the practices, all the equipment, driving up to Maine, the long trips, and then just basically dumping you off and saying, all right, go get him, kid. And my mom cried all the way home, so it was kind of hard on her, but I was like, I'm home, and I was home. As you get older, you got to make your print a little bit bigger to read, so my time in Maine was incredible. And the journey that I took to get here was a long one. When I first came here, everybody knows when you come on your first recruiting trip, you get with a chaperone. And my first chaperone was Teddy Novio. And I think everybody in the late 80s and 90s know that when you go on your first recruiting trip, you're probably going to have a pretty good time. And so Teddy took me to a frat party and had a pretty good time. Next morning, woke up. He said, "Hey, your mom and dad's here. We got to take you back home." And I said, "Where are they at?" And he said, "They're over there." So I was, "Oh, okay." So I followed them home, came back, went back to Winthrop, and I knew my decision right away was I wanted to be a Black Bear, 100% be a Black Bear. I committed in November. It was official. I can remember, first coming on campus. Being a Black Bear, staying at Cumberland Hall, walking from coming all to the baseball field. So everybody knows that's a long trek, especially in the Maine weather, which is definitely very cold. I learned very fast how to bundle up. You always can take clothes off, but you just can't put them on. So it just makes you stay really warm. So I just want to talk about my journey. Freshman year, I learned a lot, definitely on the baseball field. I learned how to shag balls, do the bucket, and make sure you don't get hit with guys throwing the balls in. My end of my freshman year, Colin Ryan gave me a bunch of advice as a player. He said, "Hey kid, you need to get a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger." I was a skinny little redhead, and so I took his advice and really hit the weights that summer. Coming back into my sophomore year, I just remember that year in 1990 being one of the coldest ones ever. I mean, it was literally having to go from hall to hall just to stay warm, but definitely making that trek to the field. And back then, Maine baseball field was all grass, so it was definitely an experience, to the least. Finishing up my sophomore year, we were able to go to a regional. We ended up losing to Georgia, who was eventually the national champion, which was definitely a great experience. That summer, I got a phone call from one of our past Hall of Famers, Mark Sweeney, and asked me if I wanted to play in the Cape. And I think this really bounced me into being a Major League Baseball player. Playing in the Cape was a great experience. Played with a lot of ex-big leaguers that played then, and also I had learned a lot of stuff. Great experience, but also built me going forward into my junior year. My junior year at University of Maine was second to none. I mean, we had one of the best teams, I think, for us. Had 7 guys drafted that year, and 2 of them obviously played in the big leagues, Mark Sweeney and myself. After Maine, I got drafted in the second round. I was able to pitch in Fenway, was able to play against one of our other Hall of Famers, Mike Bordick, and it was just a great experience. And I know for sure that if it didn't start at University of Maine, it never would have happened. I mean, the culture here for me that built me, trained me, and the coaching staff, Coach Wink, thank you for recruiting me. Coach Kimball, who's here tonight, he was our pitching coach. He kept me in line, even though I was a fiery little redhead. Coach Cootsie, who was here with Wink, tried to keep me out of trouble as much as possible, and definitely built a great baseball team in the 90s. And where am I now? I'm a baseball coach. So I coach in Alabama. I'm a junior college coach, and when I got here, a lot of the players were texting me, and they saw my picture with all the red hair, and it's kind of gone now. So they were giving me a lot of crap about, hey, coach, you had red hair? We didn't even know you had hair. So, but I just want to finish up by saying thank you to my wife for going on this journey. A long story, well, short story. She doesn't want me to tell this one, but when I was in pro ball, her dad was my A-ball coach, and we went on our first date. Well, we met in the stands, and baseball players are not supposed to meet anybody in the stands, so I met my wife in the stands, took her on a date. Well, I didn't know that was her dad was our coach, so dropped her off that night after curfew, which was like around 12:31, and we pull up to her dad's house, and her dad's waiting on the porch. As a usual dad, we're all dads. If you drop your daughter off, it's like, where's she been? And so she goes, oh my gosh, my dad's on the porch. And I said, holy crap, that's my coach. So next day we go back to the field, and I'm sure I know I'm in trouble. And so get to the field, he calls me into his office, and he says, what happened last night? I said, nothing. And he's like, well, you owe me $100. I'm like, yes, sir. So paid my fine, rest is history. We have 3 beautiful children. Toby, who's here with me tonight. My son Liam and my daughter Olivia. But I want to finish on one story too. Coach Derbs, I really appreciate him opening the door to the alumni, keeping us in the loop. Great coach. I coach in the Birmingham area. They were coming down to play Sanford, And he texted me, said, hey, we're going to be in Birmingham. You want to come down? I said, absolutely, I'm coming. I'm there. We were off on Sunday, go down and meet the team. And Derb says, hey, we're kind of struggling. I think they were like 0-11 at the time. He says, you mind talking to the team? I said, absolutely. I said, but here's the thing. Do you want the PG-13 LT or do you want the LT? And he's like, I want the LT. I said, yes, sir. So talked to the team. Coach Kimball's son was on the team, and I gave him the LT speech, and this comes from the heart. And I think everybody that's played here, hockey team, track, basketball, it's tough to play up here. And you're a different kind of animal and a different kind of player. And you got to be tough. And that's one thing I tell my players on my team. When you come to Maine, it's toughness. It's tough, integrity. Willing to sacrifice. When you play baseball in 40-degree weather, you're sacrificing a lot. So to me, and soccer as well. So when I gave the speech, kids, the players, very receptive, awesome. Hey, thank you, LT. Thanks for everything. Well, heck, they go out and win the game. Now they're 1-12, and so Derb's like, hey, you gotta come to the next one. I gotta practice. I don't think I can make it. But thank you for this great honor. I just can't. I just love my school. I love UMaine. No matter where I'm at, where I'm coaching, what I'm doing, I'm always bleeding UMaine colors. And thank you so much. Thank you.
Larry Thomas, thank you so much, Larry. Next up, it's our team inductee, the 1999 national champion University of Maine men's hockey team.
The 1998-99 men's ice hockey team captured the program's second NCAA national championship after finishing the season 31-6-4. The Black Bears defeated New Hampshire 3-2 in overtime of the national championship game on Marcus Gustafson's game-winning goal. Captain Steve Correa, previously inducted as an individual in the UMaine Sports Hall of Fame and a Hobey Baker finalist in 1999, led the Black Bears in scoring with 27 goals and 38 assists for 65 points, while Alfie Michaud guided Maine in goal with a 28-6-3 mark to go along with a .910 save percentage and a 2.32 goals against average. During the championship campaign, Maine posted a 17-5-2 mark in Hockey East play and finished the year 14-1-1 at Alfond Arena.
Dimitrukka scores! Nico Dimitrukka's on the move, makes it a 2-0.
The Black Bears, led by legendary head coach Sean Walsh, earned several accolades along the way, as Michaud was named the most outstanding player of the NCAA tournament. Correa and Dave Cullen were each named AHCA East First Team All-Americans and to the All Hockey East First Team.
Chances. Almost in the very front, they take it. They score! It's over! Gustafson wins the game and the national championship. Marcus Gustafson, UMaine wins the title.
Steve Correa and David Cullen will accept the award on the team's behalf. Steve Correa and David Cullen.
Thanks, Dave. Good evening. On behalf of the 98-99 men's hockey team, I would like to thank the University of Maine and the M Club for this tremendous honor. Our team is humbled and thrilled to be here. I would also like to congratulate all the other inductees on their outstanding collegiate careers and contributions to UMaine athletics. To understand and appreciate our team, you first need to know the circumstances leading up to that season. After winning its first national championship in '93 and losing in the NCAA finals in '95, the program hit some hard times. The 95-96 and 96-97 teams were banned from competing in the NCAA tournament because the program had violated rules in previous seasons. 10 scholarships were eliminated over 3 years, including 2 in the 98-99 season. In 97-98 season, we finished just above 500 and missed out on the NCAA tournament. The lack of scholarship money had made recruiting difficult and winning even harder. This brings me to the team being honored tonight. Externally, nobody was picking our team to contend for the NCAA title that year, and we were nowhere to be seen in the preseason polls. Internally, though, our team had other thoughts and aspirations. We were far from the most talented team that season. We had a handful of highly recruited players, but by and large, our players were overlooked, unheralded, and underappreciated. We were a team of misfits, as we like to say in the locker room, and we were proud of it. Our coaching staff had to search far and wide to find many of our players. In addition to recruiting from the US and Canada, our coaches found players from Sweden, Finland, and Austria. Heck, we even took a transfer from our hated rivals, Boston University, during those tough years. We were desperate. Love you, B. Walsh. All BU jokes aside, there was one attribute that every member of our team had in common: character, and we had it in spades. 25 players put on a jersey that season. Our group was led by 5 returning seniors who were determined to bring the team back to the NCAA tournament and to a national championship. Our juniors and sophomores, due to the lack of scholarship money, many came on partial scholarships or walked on. This group would do anything for the team, including play any position or role. For example, 2 of our sophomores came to Maine as forwards, but were converted to defensemen during the 98-99 season. When asked to change positions, they both said, "Sure, coach, whatever the team needs." This was just one of many examples of a team-first mentality that reverberated up and down our lineup. Our freshman class, our freshmen thought they were the seniors. This was mostly a good thing, especially on the ice. They were impact players right away who weren't afraid of the stage. They were difference makers. Their skill and swagger were a huge addition to our team, and we wouldn't have won without them. We also had several players who never got into a game, but they always practiced hard and were terrific team players off the ice. Behind the bench, we had the best coaching staff in the country. Sean Walsh, an exceptional motivator and communicator with an extremely detailed approach. He was ahead of his time. We miss him dearly and think of him often. Grant Stanbrook, his eye for talent was unmatched. His ability to recruit was equally matched by his ability to teach the game. Thank you, Grant, for coming all the way up from Florida. It's great to see you. And he's coming off 3 weeks ago, he had a hip replacement. So again, we learned from this man the commitment and the determination and the teamwork. That's who we learned from right there. Thank you, Grant. Our coaching staff was rounded out by 2 up-and-coming young coaches, Gene Riley and Nate Lehman. They were a perfect complement to Sean and Grant and really made our team better with their injection of new ideas and energy. We also had a tremendous support staff behind the scenes. In the front office, we had Jeannie Goss, resident hockey mom. Jeannie took care of anything and everything off the ice. In the training room, we were always well looked after by Paul Kalina. In the equipment room, Rich Britt, Steve Beam, and Peter Herrick saw to every detail. A big thanks to all the other volunteers and support staff who helped our team to operate. Despite the pundits' low expectations, we got off to a strong start and were ranked nationally soon after. We were 11-1-3 by Christmas, and by late February, we were 23-3-4 and on a roll. Sadly, our team faced its toughest adversity when we lost Rich Britt on February 23rd, 1999. Rich was a friend and teammate to us all. His passing left a hole in our locker room. Richie's death also coincided with our most challenging time of the season on the ice. We went 4-4 down the stretch, which included back-to-back losses to UNH to lose the regular season championship. We also lost in the hockey semifinals to BC, who went on to win the playoff championship. Our team was in a tailspin. After some internal reflection and a few team meetings, we refocused and regrouped. Our ultimate goal was still within our reach. Win It for Richie quickly became our team moniker. We entered the NCAA tournament as the third seed in the East. We faced Ohio State and Clarkson in the regionals, winning 4-2 and 7-2 respectively. In the Final Four, all roads went through our Hockey East rivals. In the semis, we faced BC. A tight checking, low-scoring event resulted in a 2-1 OT win with senior Bobby Stewart, a.k.a. self-proclaimed Mr. March, who's not here tonight, so I can give him some crap, finishing off a highlight reel pass from Nico Dimitrakos to win it. Our goalie, Alfie Michaud, was spectacular in the win, as he was all season for us. In the finals, we faced number 1 ranked UNH. We quickly got out to a 2-0 lead. We almost made it 3-0, but a Brazilian foot in the crease negated the goal. UNH made their push, tying the game up at 2-2 to send it to OT. Adversity had come to us again, but it was nothing new for this group. In OT, another senior, Marcus Gustafson, finished off a pass from Corey LaRose. We'd finally done it. We brought the championship back to Maine. To say that we were an unlikely and unexpected NCAA championship team would be an understatement. Every game, all year, it was the same story. A different player or group of players stepping up to win the game. We didn't win because we had the best players. We won because we had the best team. We won because we played for each other. Before I conclude, on behalf of our team, I would like to acknowledge and thank the donors for their generous support of the UMaine hockey program, and in particular, the late Harold Alphon and the Alphon family. And lastly, thank you to all the UMaine fans. Our team fondly remembers the thunderous reception at the Alphon after we returned from Anaheim. We felt and heard your support that entire season, as we did during those tough seasons leading up to 98-99. On behalf of the 98-99 men's hockey team, thank you.
Thank you, Steve. David, great job too. Thanks. Loved every word. All right. Want to let you know that group shots, group photos will be taken with all inductees here as we wrap up the ceremony tonight, and then there'll be an opportunity for individual family photos as you desire as well. The celebration continues tomorrow as we invite everyone to join us at the newly renovated Wells Central Dining and Pub for a special Hall of Fame pregame celebration. That's going to happen from 4 to 6 tomorrow, prior to the season opener against American International College. So 4 to 6 tomorrow before the puck drops at 7. Wells Central Dining is located between Corbett and Dunn Halls. And they'll have beer, wine, pizza, pub food, and other options for purchase as well. During tomorrow's hockey game, all individual inductees will be honored with an on-ice presentation during the first intermission, while the 1999 team will be honored during the second intermission. So first intermission for individual inductees, and then the team for the second intermission. Well, we'd like to thank Hotel Ursa for their support for this event tonight and for being the official hotel, and Hammond Lumber Company, too, for presenting tonight's award ceremonies. So one other reminder, if everybody, for all the inductees, make sure you get your gifts in the back, too, right, and up by the Hammond Lumber sign before you leave. Make sure you get your gift bag. So again, the pictures will be taken over here. Where's Tyson? I think he said over there. Okay. Tyson's right, not whatever. So yeah, the pictures will be over there, and that will conclude our ceremony tonight. Thank you to everybody. Congratulations to all our inductees, to the team. We thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow at the hockey game.
Will you let them know not to forget their cards?